Greetings and welcome back to the Economy Fluent channel. If you're new, we appreciate your presence and we encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel. Also, please give this video a thumbs up to help it reach more viewers and check out our other videos on recent trends in the global economy space. Now, we know that the current economic challenges facing Germany are no secret, and with winter just around the corner, the European Union's largest economy, once the fourth largest in the world, continues to face growing difficulties in sustaining itself. Germany has been in an official recession since April, and the country has had to endure 3 consecutive quarters of economic contraction. This has brought about a decline in the country's manufacturing levels, and major producers have even relocated their facilities overseas as a result, like Germany's largest chemical company, BASF, that recently invested 10 billion euros into constructing a chemical plant in China. And with these problems to boot, it's difficult to see a swift or even any recovery scheme coming through to resuscitate Germany's economy. Still, in a bid to reduce the hardships suffered by ordinary German citizens as a result of the country's economic problems, the Bundesbank, Germany's central bank, in a latest move yearning for a return to normalcy, recently issued a warning to German companies to reduce their exposure to China. But why? And how does this measure fit in line with Germany's economic needs, especially given the country's economic woes at the moment? When news of this measure came out, many claimed it was another showcase of politics standing in the way of common sense and economic benefits in our increasingly topsy-turvy world. However, the Bundesbank, on the other hand, argued and still argues that the reason for its warning was the fact that German companies maintaining strong ties with China has the potential to jeopardize the country's business model. Now, what is this business model? Well, it's a successful business model built by German companies over the past 20 years or so that includes importing raw materials below market prices and using them to develop competitive products. This business model has formed a part of Germany's trade relationship with China for many years, a trade relationship that has been pretty robust during that time frame. And Germany has had a wonderful trading relationship with China for so long using this business model that in 2022, China held the position of Germany's most significant trading partner for the 7th consecutive year, primarily driven by Germany's export of manufactured goods, especially vehicles, to China. At the same time, Germany's imports from China had been at a really high rate, making Germany the one country that imports more from China than any other country in the world. As research shows, German imports from China account for almost 12% of Germany's total trade, and exports account for 8%. And in line with this, the Bundesbank's warning pointed out that due to Germany's high importation rates with China, up to 29% of German companies still rely on imports of essential materials and components from China, a reliance that could be at risk due to mounting geopolitical tensions between the two countries. As a matter of fact, Germany's leadership, not just within the Bundestag, has entirely chosen to further deteriorate the country's relationship with China. And since they know that the repercussions of such a move are likely to impact Europe rather than China, they're doing their best to manage the effects of this course of action. It's noteworthy too that despite these developments with Germany, the United States continues to engage in business with both China and Russia. So Germany doesn't exactly have the support of power countries in its strategy. Recently, there was a released 40-page document titled Strategy on China, where Germany provided an explanation for its decision to sever ties with China. In the document, officials explained that besides the idea of reducing corporate reliance on imports from China, the rationale behind the move to sever ties lies in China's increasingly assertive pursuit of its own interests and its efforts to reshape the existing rules-based international order, which has significant implications for global security in crucial areas. According to them, the European Union has become more cautious about relying on technologies from non-EU nations that do not align with Europe's core values. Whatever your thoughts are on that, please share them in the comments section so we know the fundamental values Germany's parliament could have been referring to in this context. Of course, following the release of this document and the publication of Germany's rationale for its strategy, not everyone in Germany supported it. For instance, the CEO of Mercedes-Benz expressed the company's intention to continue investing in China, arguing that these new regulations Germany wants to bring to life contradict the principles of free trade and open markets. Mercedes-Benz is just one of many German companies with a robust business presence in China, a business presence that has grown substantially over the past decade. So the company made its commitment to meeting the expectations of its Chinese customers known, despite Germany's warning. Now, in discussions like these, we believe it's crucial not to overlook the factors that contribute to the growing success of any nation's economy. These are factors that have even practically led to the growth of world power economies over the past decades, which include opening up markets, promoting free trade, encouraging healthy competition, and ensuring a level playing field. As long as these frameworks are in place to facilitate sensible business practices, there's no need for concern. Now, Germany's plans in particular, that encompass reducing its dependence on China, will affect critical sectors such as medicine, lithium batteries for electric vehicles, and components essential for chip manufacturing. When you take this into consideration, you see that a country severing ties with such a significant trading partner on a what if and not what is basis is rather an aggressive move, especially for a country facing a rapidly declining economy. Germany's economic stagnation has been a profound story, as highlighted by the IMF, which predicted that it would be the worst performing major economy in 2023. The country's growth expectations have been close to zero, barely exceeding 0.3%, and a recent article in the Financial Times underscored Chancellor Scholz's attribution of Germany's economic challenges to the weaknesses in a few export markets, notably China. So, it's ironic that China is being blamed for Germany's economic downturn, especially considering recent events such as the Nord Stream pipeline explosion. Adding to this irony is the fact that Chancellor Scholz also recently pointed fingers at Russia for Germany's stagnation, attributing Germany's high inflation rates to the surge in energy prices resulting from Russia's invasion of Ukraine. However, even if these countries, China and Russia that is, were truly at fault for Germany's problems, the question arises, what exactly has Germany done about it? When we look for answers, we see nothing, because Germany itself has been slow to respond to the various challenges it's had to deal with. According to a recent Bundesbank survey, since the warnings from Germany's central bank came out, only 40% of industrial companies reliant on critical imports from China have reduced their exposure, while another 16% are contemplating similar actions. On the other hand, over 40% of these Chinese-dependent companies have taken zero action. So we see that as Germany grapples with significant declines in manufacturing due to soaring energy costs from Russia or the idea of a reduced dependence on China, it must also adjust to what follows: the absence of cost-effective or cheaper materials and components. This is a predicament that could force manufacturers to lay off employees if their production decreases, and it also appears that this hostile foreign policy might lead to the logical consequence of economic hardship for German manufacturers and producers as time passes on. Alright then, that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please once again leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, please share this video and press that post notification bell so you don't miss out on our future videos. We analyse the latest trending economic news, so watch out, and until next time, take care.